do as snow day notes. So these were what we called special cases. And I actually have a little, a way to try to help you guys remember not to do this wrong. What the common thing is that people do wrong is they want to just distribute that power in. Someone along a while, other than me, came up with this meme to help you to remember not to do this. They need a meme over it. This is called the dead puppy theorem.
Good.
Okay. I am an absolute dog lover. My family can just attest to this. Do not do what the puppy's telling you not to. He's like, don't do it. All right. So do not distribute this power. And this is trying to get you to remember this is a really bad thing to do. So what should we do instead of distributing this power? And what's the rule for that? What? Yeah, multiply it by itself. So some math teacher had lost their mind about this, and they made this, they called it the dead puppy theorem, so their kids wouldn't do this wrong, their students wouldn't do this wrong. So, that's how angry that teacher got. So, yep. Oh, jeez. All right, yeah. Okay, so we have to write this twice because it's telling us to square it. So please do not distribute the power in, otherwise puppy dies. And none of us want puppy to die. And if you do, we probably need to send you down to talk to Mr. Frias about that. All right, so 9x to the second minus 15x. And again, if you prefer, you guys can do box method for this. But when we go to do this, be careful. Those middle two terms do not cancel. Negative 15 and negative 15 just becomes more negative. Down 15 more, that's down 30. So don't lose that middle term. If you do this wrong, if you do it the dead puppy way, you probably lose that middle term. And on my pre-calc classes, I'll write you just kill the puppy. I'll tell them that just because I want them not to miss that.
Would it be x squared?
No, because when we're adding, you don't change the exponent. That's only when you're multiplying. Good question, though. That's a really common mistake as well. So no, good question. Hopefully you won't do that then. Okay. All right, our next one here is another special case. The reason it's a special case, it's exactly the same problem except the opposite sign in the middle. And this is something they actually have a name for it. They call it a conjugate. You don't have to know the name. But what happens with this is where the middle term will cancel. Guys, make sure you're focused here. So 4e times 4e is 16e to the second. And again, if you prefer, then we do outer, and I get 20e. But then when I go to do inner, I get a negative 20e. That sounds good. And then minus 25. But when I do this, these middle two terms are opposites of each other. So they actually get to cancel in this case. So this does just end up being two terms in the end, but it's considered what we call a special case. That always happens with those types of problems. You don't have to be able to recognize that, just know that that's a possibility. Okay? Abusing your peeps. All right. We good here? So again, this is what we learned on the day of the snow day. So if you still haven't watched that video, this is, snow day in a nutshell there. Okay, last thing is, this is what we just did for homework last night. So exactly what it says is we're gonna take that GCF and put it on the outside. Shh, guys, stop the talking, please. And then on the inside, we're gonna write the leftovers. So again, going back to our homework assignment, those of you guys who kind of did the homework wrong, if you're just finding the GCF, that you know that you also have to pull that out and divide it out of all the terms. So if I look at these two terms, I ask myself what's common among 18 and 27? 9, and then how many A's? To which one? Yeah, 8 to the second, sorry. So 9A to the second is common. So I'm going to take that out. So just telling me the GCF is not enough. You'll get some points for that, but you're going to be missing that other piece. So 18 divided by 9 is 2. A, 5 minus 2 is 3. And then negative 27 divided by 9 is a negative 3. And then these A's will just cancel. So that's what we'd be left with. Okay? Now, it gets a little more complicated. In this case, we have 3 terms. What number is common? 2. How many X's? 1. How many Y's? 1. So again, think about it as I can only take as much as I have. I can't say you have to give me $5 if you only have 2. We don't want negative exponents at all. So 8 divided by 2 is 4. X to the third over x is going to be x squared, right? And the y's are just going to cancel. 12 divided by 2 is going to be 6. X to the second over x is just x. Y to the third over y is y squared. And then the last part, those two are going to cancel, but what do we write? We're going to subtract 1. We're going to leave a 1 as a placeholder. So something divided by itself just equals 1. Okay? So what we're going to do now is we're going to do that notes quiz. So open notes quiz on these 4 sections only. So hopefully you guys have those 4 sections. And then our worksheet is going to be, you guys will get the worksheet once you do